Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Europa Universalis IV, where we are playing as Gelre, or Gelderland, or the Netherlands, soon to be, Proto-Netherlands. So, in the previous session, we spent a lot of our time just kind of recovering from all of the shenanigans from previous wars. We managed to take out Utrecht, we managed to capture Utrecht, and also vassalize Breda. We annexed Holland, the Diplo-annex, they were a vassal. And yeah, that's where things stand right now. So let's go ahead and hit the start. And we'll get going. The Protestant Reformation is well and truly going. Ooh, the French actually got into England. That's not good for them. Although that might actually be Scotland. Oh, but they're sieging... No. The French look like they actually have naval superiority here. This should be interesting. Anyway, yes, as I was saying, the Protestant Reformation is well and truly going. The English have gone Anglican. A lot of Germany is going Protestant. There's a centre of Reformation up here, here, and here. Austria has gone Protestant. That is fairly rare. But they are not the Emperor. The Emperor is currently Bohemia. So Austria is probably going to start trying to rally people against the Bohemians. Brandenburg hasn't gone yet. But... with the Teutons still existing, it's going to be rather more difficult for them to form Prussia. But anyway, we don't really care about all of that stuff. We're looking at the Dutch. We do have a subject with high liberty desire, but that's because they just got captured by us. And how are we doing with aggressive expansion? We do have some. Yeah, we have quite a lot, actually. So we do need to just kind of sit back on our laurels for a little time. That will be fine. Our army also has an awful lot of mercenaries currently because we had to hire quite aggressively in the previous war because we were so low on manpower. In fact, that doesn't look right. I think that hasn't recalculated yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and unpause. We're going to let some time pass. Yeah, there we go. 15,000. That looks a little bit more like it than just the straight up 10,000, which looked rather false. And we have 1,000 manpower. I'm going to start replacing the infantry now with regular infantry. Landsknecht. And we're also going to just try and sit back and make money, because I'd very much like to get Antwerp leveled up to level 2, and possibly even aim to get Amsterdam to level 3 as a centre of trade. Plus we do still need to upgrade our trade ships. They're barks and they could be caravels. Hey Katie. Day's gone well. Only got up about an hour ago. I've massively overslept. It was glorious. Munster has announced me his arrival. Aachen. Really? Aachen? You're big enough? You have 21 development to my 160. It's your funeral. And we could invest in a new idea, which would be quality, but I think, yeah, we need to catch up in military technology. We are actually falling behind a little bit. Hey, Lozman! Long time no see indeed. Haven't had time to watch the streams in forever. Well, welcome back. I'm intrigued. Oh, wow. They've actually taken London. How has this happened? England, where's your navy? England's navy is indeed slightly smaller than that of France. They do have more heavies and more transports. So this would still be a very close run thing. Like, it's by no means over. Though I guess that France has allies, Burgundy. Burgundy doesn't have much of a navy. They've only got one coastal province. And they are fighting... Oh no, sorry, Burgundy is on England's side. They're fighting against Brittany and Tuscany. Brittany will have a fleet. Tuscany probably as well, but I don't know how interested Tuscany will be in those affairs. I can't see them doing very much. Except, of course, for Tuscany being one of the most awesome nations in the game. Oh, no, here's Tuscany. Hi, Tuscany! Doing their bit against Burgundy. Mazovia, end of religious turmoil. So yeah, the English are battling away against the Brittany. France needs to come and help Brittany out. Knowledge sharing from Brandenburg. That's an interesting offer. Because we are already getting it. In fact, we've almost got it. We could embrace, I just need to save up 200. How much do you want for this? 2 ducats a day and we'll get an additional percentage of colonialism. You know what? I think that's going to be worth it. Because it will reduce the price of this substantially. And then I don't need to pay the massive price. And that also would suggest why I have not adopted these guys yet. Claim on Overstrict. Lost conquest on Utrecht. Well, we probably want to regain that. Oh, you have no allies. We have a truce. Because they just got completely hammered by Munster. Munster the monster. Munster. Can't help but feel that elephants are OP as hell. I was wrecking faces Delhi. Well, Delhi have the bonus to cavalry. I mean, they're no different than regular cavalry, and early on cavalry reigned supreme. So having an already powerful unit with a cavalry modifier, then of course they're going to be strong. But they will fall off later on. Particularly against people like Mewar and Mysore and any of the other Rajputs. Love me in a EU4 stream during GM prep. Oh, I miss those. Oh, I was going to say I miss those days, but I really don't. Right, so we could get powerful trade ships. That's an extra 20% trade power. That sounds pretty nice to me. Blockade impact on siege would also be good, because a lot of our stuff is coastal. War score cost versus other religions. Yeah. Mercenary discipline would also be good for us, to be fair. No, I'm going to go with the institution spread in True Faith provinces plus 50%. That would be really quick. No, we're going to go trade. Obviously, we're going to go trade. We are Proto-Netherlands. But that does really put a little more emphasis on my needing to upgrade these guys. So that would cost 266. That's a pretty penny. And I suspect that, yeah, we're well under the force limit as well. And caravels are when trade gets useful. We're still 5 techs away from Tech 15 and early frigates. So it's probably well worth investing in some light ships. I'm not sure that I'm quite ready for a heavy ship fleet yet. We're not quite into the power projection phase of the game. But trade ships, definitely. Your Lib Desire is going down. Right, let's go ahead and drop another of these. Delete and hire. What actually is my force limit? Yeah, okay, we could all go all the way up to 19 and then just delete a bunch more mercenaries at once. Having a bit more manpower recovery would be nice. We're doing trade everywhere, and that does make sense for us. No, I'm going to stick with the trade edict. So I'm planning on taking on the nation I'm playing as next. So you're going to go after Mewar. They might punish you, because they also start with the infantry ability. And they can get a lot of them. Plus they will have some of the Rajput musketeers, but they're not going to be great at this stage of the game. Too early. Once fire really starts to take over, then those things are going to be dangerous. But that's not going to be until, like, Tech 20 or so. I mean, they've started to get dangerous. They start to get stronger around Tech 8, I would say. So roughly where I am now is when infantry start to overtake cavalry. Because they already have half the shock of cavalry. But artillery aren't really good until Chambered Demi, Tech 16, I would say. I mean, they're good until then, but then that's when they really start to become, like, vital. A vital part of any good army. Okay, it is spreading, and it is spreading rapidly. Den Haag just got it. So we just need Utrecht, which is going to be next month. And then Zeeland, which I probably won't wait for. In fact, did that count? Utrecht? No, next month. I can wait a month. That's not a problem. Frisian separatists. Ooh, that'll be interesting. Because if they separate out as Friesland, I can just declare war on them. Because they won't be protected by anyone. Oh, come on, Utrecht. Oh, still hasn't November. I got impatient. Vlaanderen is no longer a claim, so I need to get another one against Flanders too. Alright. And there we go, only 35 ducats. I am sure that I saved money by investing in Brandenburg there. So we're going to go ahead and embrace you, which will also mean that I'm no longer getting it from Brandenburg. And we have colonialism, which is provincial trade power plus 10%, which is going to be awesome for me. Like, our trade power is really going to start ratcheting up now. We already control 33% of this node. We are the top person here. And that's with a Flanders embargo. Who are my rivals right now, and am I embargoing them? I am not embargoing anyone. That's a mistake. Provence, Flanders and Munster. Provence. Oh, I need a diplomat. Well, let's start with Flanders. Provence. Munster. Alright, there we go. So that should allow me to start ratcheting up the power projection, which I've been kind of forgetting. Age objectives fulfilled. Oh, you get power projection for finishing these. That's interesting. I'm not sure that used to be a thing. Your Liberty Desire is dropping, though it's slower than I would like. Friesland still has no allies. When is their fate sealed? It will be sealed in 5 years' time. Okay then. Terminated the knowledge share. Money is still rolling in. Right, speaking of money, I was going to invest in upgrading you. Because I now realise that getting half-price advisors is extremely rare now. So if we go to the clergy here, for example, recruit minister, they no longer cost 50% less. The inquisitors, same thing. Going over here to the nobility, looking at the improved relations guy, the diplomat, no 50%. However, burghers, you still get this advisor is 50% cheaper for your country to employ. Is it because he's Dutch heritage? No, they're all Dutch heritage. So the only minister that the base estates get that's really good now is the burgher minister. So we can get this year skill 3, which I think is still going to be too expensive. Master of the Mint. We should also invest in the military guy. Let's go land maintenance. Save ourselves a bit of cash. And I think that was well worth the investment. Like, we need to start thinking a bit more about the monarch point generation. I've been falling behind in that. I was inspired by your Gelre campaign to try Utrecht. It was doing really well. Gelre and Friesland both annexed. Oi! Until I got stuck in a stupid war with Pomerania. My army got wiped, followed by Holland and Brabant, declaring separate wars and taking my whole country apart. I'll have another go soon, but small countries are so fragile. End of game before 1500. Yep, I know. I see that Munster is taking Groningen too. Yes, they have. But Groningen is not required to form the Netherlands. I just need Friesland and Breda. Breda I already own. Friesland I can get either out of Utrecht or when they separate. Although they've been sieging that place for a long time, so they're not actually accruing separation desire. Or whatever that's called. Who am I doing it against? I'm doing it against Utrecht. So I need to say... Fabricate claim on Friesland, I think. And then I'm also going to start one going against Flanders, because I really want Flandern before France or somebody runs in and grabs it. I want that centre of trade. We're still earning money, which is good. Okay, we can get another infantryman. Maybe we should get another cannon. I think we're going to get another Hoofnies, so I can siege stuff faster. Because that's going to be +2 siege ticks rather than just the +1. So we've effectively doubled our siege ability. Early game, you probably want up to 5 cannon. I wouldn't go above that. Because that will give you the maximum for sieging one castle. And because countries are smaller in this era and there aren't that many forts around, you probably just need the one. And you can always spread them out. But when it comes to combat, cannon just aren't that good yet. Although the ability that they have of providing bonuses to the front row shouldn't be understated. So artillery, whenever they're fighting, provide half of their pips to the units in front. As soon as I remember where I can see that. Hoofnies, here we go. So the Hoofnies will be providing half a pip of offensive fire and half a pip of defensive morale. Whether it actually counts single pips rather than the twos, I'm not sure. I suspect it probably does. of Nice. We were discovered in Flanders. No matter. No, we discovered Flanders. Naughty, naughty Flanders. Right, let's get military tech so we can get back up to speed. Culverin and Pedero, and also Schwarzerreiter, so that's a new cannon type. So again, question, do we want to provide shock resistance, which is probably going to be useful at this era? Or do we want morale resistance? Do we have any modifiers to morale? Just off of that, no. Prestige, no. Land tradition. Land tradition we might. Yeah, we're actually getting 15% morale from land tradition. And because we're keeping our forts up, that is declining slower. We're not getting much from army professionalism. In fact, you are at full morale. You have no general, that's why you're not drilling. Wow, that was a waste. And also Schwarzerreiter, who are quite significantly better than Latin Knights. Doubles their shock damage, adds a bit of shock resist, lots more morale impact, and also a little bit of fire. I think I might go for the shock resist. I mean, my land tradition is good enough that I think we're going to be okay. Cannons really get going somewhere in the teens of Miltech. Yeah, my guide is when you get chambered demi-cannon. Demi-cannon and leather cannon. It's somewhere between these two that cannon really starts to take off. They're useful with the cast iron. Up till then, they're just sieging equipment. Like, don't bother about them in battles. But when they get to chambered demi-cannon, that's definitely when they're like, okay, these are now a viable combat unit. And we can get another infantry, so let's go ahead and split out another mercenary. And as I'm getting rid of the mercenaries, we're also going to be increasing or improving our economy. Because we're obviously paying less to the mercs, which is great. And Brabant is just on the verge between loyal and disloyal. I'm pretty happy with that. Utrecht has started to hire some troops. It was 35, I said, right? No, 38. Still at 4 years. Corruption. Corruption is one of the most common and frequent factors of political and economic life. Never in history has this been more prominent than in these times of feudal regimes. I'll lose the reform progress. As much as I really don't want to do that, because I want to get to States General. Actually, speaking of which, how good is my ruler? He's alright. He's not married. That seems like a mistake. Lubeck I can't marry. And Brabant I can marry. Okay, here we go. Let's go and just drop you for a moment. Because getting that royal marriage... Oh, you wouldn't accept. Because they're disloyal. Ah, yeah, the other way that you can do that is by putting a relative on the throne. Okay, now you're loyal. I'll wait until the end of the month, then I'll do it. So we don't get a negative tick over. Alright, you're getting more loyal. There we are. You are now loyal. I'll have a word with you. Royal marriage now acceptable. Click, click, click. A 612. Nice. I'll take that. And then group. Grab that diplomat and say own subjects. We could get another idea. Exploration. Ah, here we go. Here's the colonial range. That is one that I definitely do want. It's also going to give me the yearly legitimacy, which would be nice. It's not vital, but it's nice. We're definitely doing this. Whether they are the Dukes of Burgundy or the Kings of Spain, the people of Gelre use every means at their disposal to eject foreign rulers from their lands. Our staunch independence in the face of adversity cements our right to rule. And now... I need 3 of you. 1, 2, 3. And I need the explorer here as well. Right, sail over to Zeeland. Meanwhile, you continue protecting trade in the English Channel. Off you go! Marvellous! Now, can I reach Jolof? Yes, yes I can. So I might be able to send an offer to Jolof. Oh, Mali would be even better. Buying an entrepot. I need a diplomat. Flanders. I was getting a... I need to tell you to stop because we've already got one on Friesland. I need to fabricate a claim on Vlaanderen. And then I need to come over here to Mali. We have a Conquest CB against you. Good. Charter Company. Requires 756 ducats. What I think happens is it gets cheaper if you improve relations with them. So I'm going to start improving relations with Mali with the intention of buying that coastal province if I can. At least one explorer ready to explore. Right, yes, that's the thing I also need to do. So you explore, and suddenly our range has increased. I would very much like to see the Caribbean. If I can reach the Caribbean, then we are sold. That's going to be a lot of colonial income coming from there. Guess who's back? Back again. Hey, Tarkus. My manpower recovery is so sodding slow. Brabant have got the next institution. Is it because I just haven't built any buildings? That's probably what's going on here. I've got all the churches. I have a couple of workshops, though Utrecht badly needs one. And Gelre needs a barracks badly. Gelre also needs a fort. This game's getting too normal, Mordred. You need to make it stressful again. No! Never! Ooh, I can see all the way over to the Caribbean now. Hold on. Cannot reach you, but I can reach these. Huzzah! Alright, what's the most valuable? These are all 10 development. Well, I like the look of Martinique here. So we're going to send our diplomat off to Martinique. And what is my colonial... We're on native trade, which seems reasonable. We should also grant a New World Charter. Although that's going to hit 100% as soon as I click that button. I need you to lose some influence, please. So we have Nomines Novi, which is going to last for a while. So I think I need to give some land to the nobility instead. Also, there's some rebels here, which is not acceptable. And Utrecht I haven't actually given away yet. Utrecht... Oh, it's another production place. Utrecht I think I'm just going to leave independent. Den Haag is currently owned by the Burghers and is an estuary. Burghers, trade centre of trade, clergy, nothing. And you are owned by Burghers, but you are a centre of trade. Gelre is the capital. I kind of like how this is all set up. Ah, Utrecht. Wait. Oh, those are Brabanton separatists. That's fine. Munster have decided to offer knowledge share to Mecklenburg. Okay. 3 more years. What did you miss today? Not a huge amount. You just missed me embracing colonialism. Getting the 3rd colonial idea, which increases colonial range, which allows me to actually reach the Americas. So I'm just sent off my first colony to Caribbean. And fabrications and stuff. I mean, this is very much just like recovery mode at the moment. We should be able to defeat them fairly easily. We outnumber them quite heavily. Spy Master has died. Thankfully he wasn't the level... Ooh, trade efficiency. Yes, please. Alright, we won that. Let's head back to Utrecht. I mean, we could turn off the forts if we needed to save some money, but I don't think that we necessarily do. Although my income has just plummeted. Why? I've just lost like 16 ducats a month somehow. Because we were making 7. Well, it went down a bit because we hired some more advisors. Granted, but it wasn't that big a swing. Okay, it's 2 from the Colonial maintenance. 13 ducats from reinforcements. Oh, there it is. No manpower needed, cost 12 ducats. Yes, because of all the mercenaries. Alright. Worth the price. Explorer is ready. Excellent. Let's go and have you explore further. As much as I want to see more of the Caribbean, I'm going to determine the Caribbean is like well enough explored. I actually want to see more of the West African coast. Because ultimately my goal was to go to India, not America. Like, some American colonies would be nice. But India is where I want to get to. Damn, Mordred's rules pretty much destroys your plans for the Dharma multiplayer. Sorry. Everyone's subject to them, though. What are my tech levels? We are at 10, 10, 10. Straight down the line. Nothing special. A friend of mine made a really good point on why they may never update the natives. Well, 2 points. 1, most people don't play natives, and 2, strong natives would patently make colonialism no longer valid. It would still be valid, and they don't necessarily need to make them stronger, they just need to make them more interesting. What colonies do I have? 1 in the Caribbean, still being built. Like 20 colonists. It's been there a month. And now the clergy are upset. That might be another reason why I've just lost some money. Establish New World missions. Uprising chance reduction. That's just going to cost influence. Yeah, that sounds good. Although it pisses them off all the more. Could we seek support the clergy? Yes. Yes, we definitely could. Let's do that. Let's also call it Diet so we can get that manpower recovery going. I really want this. But doing so would be suicidal. I need to not be meritocratic. But minus 10% advisor costs. It's too good. It's too good. Alright, we're making money again. As the mercenaries no longer need to get updated. And we're soon to be getting another regiment. That makes a certain Indian country unchoosable, though. How do you mean? All of the Indian countries are playable so long as they're Indian tech. If they're not Indian tech, then they're not Indian. What is a diet for the nobility? It's like a big gathering, a congress almost. For example, the Diet of Speyer is when the Reformation was, or the when Protestantism was officially announced. A bunch of the nobles at a noble Diet in Speyer at the Holy Roman Emperor's like meeting thing, they basically said, "Yo, you can't say that Protestants can't be electors or can't be princes or something like that." No, Worms or something. Was it Worms? There was one in Speyer as well. No, maybe it was Worms. Speyer was something else. I know, because I went to the Speyer Cathedral when they were talking about it. Okay, clearly I can't remember. Bartholomew Bucker, controversial protectionist. Since Bartholomew Bucker started providing advice for the trade developments in Gelre, internal trade has strengthened at the cost of curtailed imports and increased state regulation. While the decisions to improve infrastructure have been appreciated, recent suggestions have caused many influential people to question their philosophy. They argue that the Duke is taking Bartholomew Bucker's advice too readily, and that we should look for mutual beneficial deals with other nations, rather than seeking to dominate every area of trade. No, I'm pretty happy to have the mercantilism, thanks. And my legitimacy, I now have defiance of foreign rule, so my legitimacy will recover pretty quickly from any tests that it may suffer.